Alright gang, I do apologise. It looks as though we've had a slight issue with the stream. My apologies for that, but we are back live. And running at the F3s here at Montreal Grand Prix circuit. We are currently riding with car 7 in Vicken. And we're going to welcome back into the fray. I think yes, here he is. My partner in crime, Jason Hoke. Are you with me, Jason?
Yes, mate, I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you in the stream? In the sim?
I am watching it. I am not in the sim. I'm actually watching it through the. I don't actually have this track. I don't think, mate. So,
Gotcha.
unfortunately, I'm about 5 seconds behind what you're saying.
All right.
But
well,
I have been enjoying the action.
All right. Well, we might.
I'm not sure what use I could be to you.
No, that's all right. I might just kick you back into mute, mate, and then come back to you when we've finished this broadcast.
I'll kick back and I'll enjoy the show.
Sweet. All right. So we are currently looking at Arthur Nassai in the number 3 machine, currently in 4th place, 5/10 away from Nicky Cuircuit in the black number 4 there, and pushing on through. We are halfway through this 20-lap race at the moment, and we now have from 13 through to 27 1 lap down. So as you can see, the fields do spread out rather quickly in these races, and that's mainly due to the amount of difference in skill level that you can have, as Cuircuit has a bit of a bounce off the tyres there, and that's left Nassai looking like he might be able to get a move done here. And he's up with him and through. So Cuircuit's run that outside line a couple of times for a couple of people. He's getting good rehearsal at it. And that was a nice, clean and authoritative move by Nassai to move through to 3rd place. Let's see if he can keep it there. As we go for another look now through the field, not a massive amount happening. We have Vincent Oliver Barron now in car 8, just 4/10 off Daniel Barrero. And Vincent started in P11 and up to P6, so he's making quite a good deal out of this for himself. It looks like he could come to a little bit of trouble here with, or a little bit of competition here from Dennis Van Aish in the 11 car behind him, 5/10 in it at the moment. As Cuircuit further back up in 4th place is managing to keep up with Arthur Nassai pretty well here. It's interesting looking matchup, these two. He's now 2/10 on him. He's got a bit of a slipstream there, and he's going to pull back in behind him after he shows him the car, tries to unsettle him. So we might just ride with Nicky for a second and watch how they do it from the cockpit of an F3. Alright, we're just going to cut that lap a little bit short because it seems like car 12, Kieran Vernon, may have had a slight bit of an issue just with his last lap. We'll go back and see if we can get a replay of this. That may have been a pit stop for some kind of issue. I'm not sure there at the moment. We should get a look at it here. So through the hairpin, and whether it might be a network connection issue, which you can sometimes get. It's when you stop and think about what we're doing on iRacing, it's pretty amazing that we can run with the accuracy that we do. I'd suspect he's going to get a new nose cone by the look of that nose. She's a little bit, the spoiler's a little bit skew with, as we put it in Australia. So anyway, I can't quite find exactly what's happened there. We'll head back to Vincent here. He's car 7. He's got 5/10 up to Barron in car 8, and they've got a battle on here for position 8. See, they're just starting to gap that out again now, so we might head back to the P4, P3 battle in Nicky Cuircuit there in 4th and Arthur Nassau in 3rd. Nassau is holding him off still, but Nicky is definitely sticking with him there. He's keeping Nassau pretty honest there in the last of the podium positions as they head through the first chicane on the track. You can see she's a pretty leafy old track, this one. It'll be a great track to spectate. Plenty of shade for the viewers and plenty of action on the track. So we might just go through the field at this point in time with 6 laps still remaining on the ticker. We have Kaiser 2.1 seconds up in first place from Vanderlind in P2. P3 Nassau. P4, as we know, is Cuircuit. P5 is Daniel Barrero there in the 14. P6 Van Aish. P7 is Marino. P8 is Barron. P9 Vicken, and rounding out your top 10 is Zhao in car 6. So we'll head back to this battle with Cuircuit and Nassau. They are the two that are definitely producing the best racing, in my opinion, at the moment on the track. They're only 6/10 between each other, with one of the lap traffic cars coming up behind them. And that lead is now for Nassau stretching out to 8/10 back to Cuircuit. So he's released the pressure a little bit, Nassau has, and that can often allow you to start skipping away from your competitor, which leaves them burning their tyres trying to get to you. As Nassau comes into the hairpin for what will be the 6th last time. Nice hairpin there. He's got that well under control. It can certainly be a corner that will bring you unstuck and bring your competition back to you. So we see Vicken starting to blink on and off the order there a little bit, and I think maybe just dropped a spot too, but my timing may very well be out considering what I'm seeing there at the moment. He's blinking a bit on and off, and we appear to have lost 7 cars out of the running at the moment, so 7 drivers that have decided to give it up. We have one car in the pits at the moment in Roman Gonzalez in P21. So we still have 20 cars running, so P21, P22 still running. Obviously they will be hoping to catch up a couple of spots there. It looks like Gonzalez may have just decided to call it a day, which leaves David Mittelholzer in P22, looking like he should pick up 3 spots, although he's 12 laps down with 5 laps to go. Yeah, he should just get up to P19, should David. If he continues a nice clean run there, he should be able to recover a couple of spots. So good on him for not giving up. That's definitely what you've got to do in any race, because you never know what's going to happen. So back with Cuircuit and Nassau now. As we can see, he's almost stretched out to 9/10 now, Nassau has. And Cuircuit's got a very comfortable 18 seconds behind him, back to Daniel Barrero in 5th spot, so he can concentrate very much on trying to put the pressure on Nassau. Looks like he may have got quite a bit back on him through the chicane and around turn 1, turn 2. That gap is fluctuating wildly. So there's some different lines and some different capabilities on those corners between these two guys, and it is a very technical part of the track, turn 1 and turn 2. Very hard to get right consistently, particularly if you're trying to push your car and the grip limits to get through to the competition in front of you, as Cuircuit is trying to do. And Kaiser in first place is absolutely flying. He's just managed to lap P12 in Kieran Vernon. So poor old Kieran's been through the ringer and in for his nose replacement. You can see his spoiler's looking nice and straight there now, but it's cost him 1 lap by the looks of it. So Kaiser just managing to fire ahead there, and still only 1.6 seconds though, back to Kevin Vanderlinde in 2nd place, so he's still in touch, It's probably not as close as you'd like to be to try and battle, but definitely still in touch. But the battle of the race has certainly been between P3 and P4, Cuircuit and Nassau. And some really nice driving between them, some competitive driving and some clean driving, which is awesome to see in iRacing. It's quite a pleasure when you see some clean driving, as Cuircuit just pushes it a little bit too hard, 2 wheels in the grass, but he hangs onto it with no problem. And you can see him pushing quite hard now, a little bit sideways off that chicane, a little bit of slide happening, and really asking as much as he can of his tyres and of his car at the moment to try and bring that gap back, but it's not working at the moment. He's out to 1.2 seconds on Nassau, so I think with 3 laps to go, I reckon Nassau's got him covered off unless he makes some kind of an error, which is never out of the realms of possibility in iRacing, and especially around Montreal. And I did promise that we'll go back to the start. We will certainly do that when we get, I think, to the end of the race now. We'll go back and have a bit of a squiz and see if we can check out some of the fun stuff that happened at the start. Some tyre rubbing and some cars in the air and some cars everywhere. As we head back and have a look at P9, Vicken is 1.3 seconds off Vincent Oliver Barron at the moment in P8 in the number 8 car, so it's a little bit of a late move, a little bit of a late run on from Vicken there. I just can't see with 2 laps to go that he's going to be able to capitalise on that little turn of pace at the end though, as Cuircuit comes back up to 7/10 away from Nassau. That car behind Cuircuit is a lapped car. The next car for position is 21 seconds back down the track in Daniel Barrero in car 14. So Cuircuit can just keep his eyes up and concentrate on pulling in this extra 5/10 that he now has to try and put another move on Nassau. So this is looking quite willing between these two gents. They're very well matched to each other in terms of driving skill and ability in the car by the looks of it. Turned on quite the show for everyone here today at Montreal. And you can see there the crowd's not having to worry about self-isolation here in iRacing because electrons can't get the coronavirus. So we've got 6 tenths now separating Cuircuit from Nassau as they head around to take their second last lap. That's some really good pinpoint driving through those chicanes from Cuircuit. He's really using the maximum of the track for maximum attack. And now 6 tenths, so there's a little bit between them in turn 1 and 2, a little bit of difference in skill maybe, or comprehension of the track potentially. As we see Nassau, Cuircuit just ragging it there through the first chicane, really skating it through. That's awesome vision to see. It's great fun to watch. These cars would really hook up if you put a good setup under them. They would be really, really fun and great cars to drive. But we have just hit the final lap. It's all about this man at the moment in Michi Kaiser. I will keep a close eye on 3rd and 4th position because that is the battle that's going on in the race, all through the race apparently, but it is going to be Kaiser. 9 tenths out from Van der Linde, coming through to take the flag and to take the win. That's a very convincing win from Kaiser, and he's done beautifully there to convert that into a win. That's Van der Linde. So we head back to Nassau, coming around to take the flag in 3rd, Cuircuit in 4th, and then we're a long way back to Daniel Barrero, just coming off the hairpin there in the 14 machine, and he's going to hold out as long as he gets through this last chicane with no big drama. I better not jinx the man, so he's going to hold out Dennis Van Aish for 5th. So that's Van Aish now coming around to take 6th. Another 2 seconds down the tracks, Tom Marino there taking out 7th. And we have Vincent Oliver Barron coming through the last chicane there with a reasonable little bit of a slide. It might have been a bit of a code brown for him. That's in 8th. With Vicken in 9th, and falling a bit off the pace, may have cooked his tyres a bit early I think, is Zhang Yu Zhao there from Asia, coming through to complete the top 10. So there you have it gang, that's how we do it at Montreal in iRacing. So quite an entertaining little race there. I was enjoying that, and I hope you were too. And there's your final standings for the race. So I'm going to have a look here and see if we can get back to the start without too much of an issue, to see if we can see what happened at the start in a little more detail. Alright, so we're back here on the starting grid. I'm just going to get rid of this window obviously so we can see it. And let me see if I can get hold of this thing, guys. I'm very sorry. I still haven't figured this side of it out. Here we go. So we're going to try and get a look here at Barron in the 11 car. 11th place, sorry. Just trying to uncode a bit of this and see the 7 car runs a bit wide there and throws one straight into the wall. So we might try and come back to him and have a bit of a closer look at that and see if we can decode this all for you guys. Oh, we're back to full pace. That's definitely not going to help me decode this for anyone. So we had... So that was Vicken on the right there, getting into... Not quite sure who that was. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to decode that, but as you can see guys, cars everywhere, and that's not really what you want to have happen at the start of a race, but that is sometimes what happens. So that's Zhao that ended up in the box there at one stage, so he's done quite well to get it back again. That's car 8 there in Barron that was having a bit of a wild time with it, trying to get away from him there. Yeah, so quite a wild sort of start, but okay if you're further up the pack. So that's car 19, David Mittelhalzer, that looks like he came together with Barron there at the start. And yeah, just unfortunate that that's how their race started out, but that's racing, I guess, guys. So I hope you enjoyed that coverage. Sorry I couldn't decode that start a little bit better for you. I'm sort of trying to watch a couple of things here at the moment, but we'll be back a bit later on with an iRacing Rallycross round, either from Phoenix or Atlanta, depending on where the competitors are. So this is Digital Global Racing, and as we've mentioned before, you can find us live on Facebook, Mixer and Twitch, and we upload a copy of the races to YouTube not long after that. So you can find out what we're all about by going to our website at digitalglobalracing.com. And you've got the ability in there to donate to the cause. We're actually a charity organisation, which the website can tell you all about our goals and aspirations. So if you'd like to donate, please do. As I say, you can do that through the website, and we also have merchandise available through the website as well. Feel free to duck in there and get yourself some cool new threads. So thanks so much for checking us out. And we hope you've enjoyed that, and hope you'll join us for our Rallycross broadcast coming up in the not too distant future this evening. Thanks for viewing, and we'll see you again soon. Moves on here from Itzko, I reckon he'll have a go at this lead. When he gets there. He's been on the move since that first flag, even before that lap 6.